Good evening, friends. It's great to be here again on this beautiful Thursday evening, ready to get rocking and rolling with our topic. All right. Hello, Wendy Roberson. How are you? You would think she's tuning in from across the country. Hey, Nick D. Always depend on you. How are you? Hi, Lynn Stewart. How are you? Great. Have something interesting I want to share with you tonight as we get started and starts revving up here. And first of all, thank you guys for those of you who are faithfully on every Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to be doing some different things. If you haven't been in the communities yet, whether you're single or married, I encourage you to join the communities. There are a number of chat rooms where you can join. We want to get the conversation started. And Wendy and I are going to be, hi, Debbie. Wendy and I are going to be joining these chat rooms with live video on those as well. So please keep your ears open and keep your eyes open as you get notifications for those, because we want you to join. We're going to be able to talk not just via text, but also via video. So you'll be able to join us via video, only about 14 or 15 at a time. But we want to do that just to engage you further as we continue to bring you information and resources to better your relationships. And if you're not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. Those of you who I see your names are coming up, you have subscribed. But if you come up as MAFP user, you have not subscribed yet. We have a number of exciting things that are going to be happening as we move into the new year. We want you to be a big part of it. So please subscribe as we move forward. Okay, so that you can get all the benefits that we have that are going to be coming to you. Okay. All right. Great. Awesome. Look, let's jump right into this. Let's jump right into it. And our topic, what we want to discuss, thank you, Nick. Please do. What we wanted to discuss tonight was sexual connection. You know, we talk a lot about relationships, and we talk a lot about whether you're single, married, or dating. We talk a lot about relationships, and you can hardly talk about it without bringing up the subject of sex, sexual intimacy. Not only what that looks like, everybody knows what it is, but we want to talk about its place in your relationship, its importance or lack thereof in the relationship. I have talked to a number of people who have really had trouble with sexless marriages. I've talked to a lot of single people who have chosen to live sexless lives. I've talked to people who are dating, who are choosing to wait until they're married. Again, no sex. And I want to be able to talk freely here. And this is what I absolutely love about the app, is that we're able to talk freely without anyone censoring or telling us, okay, you violated something. Now, of course, we don't tolerate here any kind of hate speech or what have you, but we are able to talk very openly and honestly. And when we go on the community lives, you actually will not only be able to type, but you'll be able to speak, talk as we're having a conversation, as in Zoom, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be quite exciting. We're going to be doing that probably starting the new year. So we want to get you in those chat rooms and get you started. One thing that we do want to talk about as we continue this topic about sex and sexuality. First of all, it's taboo for a lot of people. You know, people don't like talking about sex. You know, I mean, we all know about it, you know, but in relationships, sometimes it can get real touchy. And when we start talking, especially in forums like this, I will guarantee you that a great number of times people are silent. But let me share this with you. Let me give you permission if you need it. It's okay to talk about it. It does not open a window into your personal life. We will not believe that your questions are reflections of what's happening with you or in your life. That's not the issue. And honestly, we don't care. I personally don't care what's happening in your bedroom. I just want to make sure that we have the information that is necessary for us to have fulfilling lives. For us to have fulfilling lives so we can move forward in every other area of our life. And remember that sex is an incredibly important facet of our lives. And as I mentioned, whether you're single and you're celibate, or you're single and you just, hey, sowing your wild oats, okay? Or you're dating and you're in a sexually active dating relationship, or if you are abstaining until marriage, or if you're married and in a sexually active relationship, or if you're having trouble in that area, okay? There's help, and we're going to talk about it tonight. Okay, let's deal with this. The first thing I want to share with you, when it comes to especially people who are not married, so you guys feel free to chime in at any time with questions, comments, or answers. When it comes to people who are not married, there's a trend that I'm noticing, and I want to point this out to you. There's a trend that I'm noticing that everything, and it's not new, it happened when I was a kid and etc., but everything is sexual now. Some of the music that I hear is it's out of this world. I'm serious. I'll give you an example. I was singing a song, Baby It's Cold Outside, recently. Well, one of the Christmas songs that I like, and I know that some years ago, I remember that song was banned and they couldn't sing it or something or another. It's the same year that Cardi B came out with WAP, which was okay. So we're all kind of messed up in how we view things. We're all kind of messed up. And I'm not going to say what that is, okay, because it's not necessary. But we're all kind of messed up when it comes to sex and sexuality. And we believe that whether it's in our music or in our spoken word or what have you, if you never heard of WAP, Debbie, just leave it alone, okay? Right? They just leave it alone. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to how we express sexuality and what have you, if we can't talk openly and honestly about it, you guys are funny. You're saying Google it, okay? Trust me, leave it alone, okay? When it comes to us not being able to open up and talk about it, this is the first step in us having problems in that area. When we cannot talk openly and honestly about sex, we have to talk about sex just as openly and honestly as we talk about communication, as we talk about love and relationship goals and relationship roles and what we expect out of relationships, what we expect out of dating, what we're looking for in a partner. We have to know these things because your sexual health is incredibly important and your sexual knowledge is even more important. More people have really screwed up their lives because of their lack of sexual knowledge. Okay, lack of knowing what's going on in that area of their lives or what should be happening in that area of their lives. Right now, times have changed tremendously since when I was a kid. When I was a kid, everybody, I'm telling you, everybody, all the guys, we bragged about how much we were getting. Wasn't nobody getting nothing. And we know that. Okay, because at that time, sex was not as prolific as it is now. Okay, someone asked the question, do you feel like sex brings reconnection when your relationship seems to be at an impasse? Does it mean the issues go away though? Yeah, and let's get into that in a moment. That yes, definitely, sex brings connection. Another question, in some households, people grew up not talking about sex. It then led to a disadvantage when you date and marry. Oh my God, absolutely. And Nick said, guys still lying. Well, that's true too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to deal with that second one from you, Lynn. Then I want to come back up to Wendy's. You're absolutely right. When people do not talk about it growing up and you don't have that freedom to discuss, those feelings that are happening. Every boy needs to be able to talk to his dad when he starts having those feelings that he can't explain, and he wakes up in the middle of the night having these reactions and he doesn't know where they come from. Do you know how confusing that is for a young boy? How confusing it is for a child to not know what's going on in his mind and in his body, and for a young woman not knowing when her period is coming or not knowing what's happening. I mean, people still have problems discussing that. Thank God I discussed it with my children, my sons especially, early on, because my sons are from my previous marriage, and my wife, we definitely talked about it with our daughter from her previous marriage. But nevertheless, it's important that we open up the doors and speak to our kids about this. Moreover, that we talk to each other about sex. Because believe it or not, in today's society, the earliest people on average are having sex at about 15 years of age. About 15 years of age, people are having sex. Now, it used to be a lot younger. It used to be 13. So I find that people are starting to wait a little longer. Okay, for whatever reason that is, I don't know. But sex is becoming a little more, we're pushing it back a little bit more, okay, which I believe is a good thing, because I think that people need to know what they're getting into when they're starting sexual relationships. Okay, now one thing you have to understand, that if you are single, sex does not always have to be on the table in your dating life. Because quite often, when you go out, that's one of the first things on people's mind, sex. And I'm here to tell you, if you're going out on a date and sex comes up in that first conversation, let that be your last conversation. Absolutely. Because you don't know someone in a first conversation well enough to be talking about something so intimate and something with such gravitas. That is something that's reserved for a period after I've actually gotten to know who the heck you are. Okay, let's talk a little bit. Okay, how do you get back to initiate when you are rejected enough? How do you get back to initiate? Oh, wow, when you are rejected enough. Okay, now let's jump into some of these questions. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go back. Do you feel like sex brings reconnection? Absolutely, sex brings reconnection. Then I'm going to go back down to you, Nick D. The thing is, with sex is an automatic connecting element in two people's lives. And what you have to understand is that whether you're in a marriage or whether you're single or no matter what the status of your relationship is, if you have sex with that person, there will be a biological connection. Your oxytocin will be released, and oxytocin is a chemical that is released that immediately causes bonding. Okay. And not only that, there is a spiritual bonding or an energy bonding. If you're not spiritual, there's an energy bonding. Whenever two people connect, and they join themselves together like that, there is a bonding that takes place. So irrespective of where you are in your relationship, this is something for you to understand. Because if you're single and you're having sex, understand that you are bonding with that person. So if you're having sex frivolously, you're still bonding. If you're married and you're having sex, you are bonding with that spouse. So if you're having sex intentionally, you're getting closer. This is why in a lot of situations, you're dating somebody, you go out, you hit it one night, and after that, she calling you, so he got sex and didn't call me. That's why I encourage women, do not have sex. Do not have sex. Make sure that you wait. Yep. If you want to wait till marriage, perfectly okay. I'm not here to emphasize that as the case. My personal opinion notwithstanding, I'm here to let you know that you should not give it away freely. Okay? Until, first of all, there is some other connection outside of the sexual connection. All right, let's go back to some of these other comments here. How do you get back to initiate when you are rejected enough? Wow. First of all, the question comes in, this whole idea of rejection. When you are rejected, and I want to make sure I'm answering what you're asking. When a person is constantly rejected after making sexual advances, how do they get back to initiating? Here's something you got to ask yourself. Here's a question you have to ask yourself. If you're in a relationship and you are constantly rejected, it may not be wise for you to initiate because there's a deeper issue. There's a much deeper issue. If rejection has become a regular occurrence in your relationship, it's deeper than sex. Sex is about intimacy. Sex is the highest form of communication. Hear me. Sex is the highest form of communication. When two people are communicating, the first they want to do when they start to really like each other just by talking, they want to touch. When they start touch, they want to be closer. When they want to be closer, they want to kiss. They want to hug. Eventually, sex. Sex is that highest form of communication. Now, if someone does not want to have sex with you and they're rejecting you constantly, it's because somewhere they do not feel close to you and they do not want to give that vulnerable side to you. So if you've been rejected that much from that one person, my suggestion is that you pull back. Do not initiate to that person. Now, second part of that answer to that question. If you're talking about how do I get the courage to initiate with another person when I've been rejected by a different person, that's a different question. How do I do that? First of all, you have to reset and understand that it was not about sex. It is not about me. It was about my lack of communication with that previous person. Don't connect sex to everything. It's not. When a person rejects sex, they're rejecting something else. They're rejecting connection or lack thereof. They're rejecting the fact that we're not close enough. They're rejecting the fact that there is a barrier between us. Remove the barrier, the sex will come. So you have to understand that. So moving forward, just know that it was never really about sex. It was about something else. And I hope you're getting that. I hope you're getting that. Okay. I think it's important to speak about the deeper connection sex creates. So many people just join themselves with other people, even not even knowing what type of energy they're picking up. You're absolutely right. Because we talked about the oxytocin, psychological connection, spiritual connections. There are connections. And you have to understand that every person you have sex with, and you've probably heard this 100 times before, everyone you have sex with, understand that you're not just having sex with that person. You're having sex with every connection that person has had a connection with. So if I have sex with person A, I have to understand that person A has had sex with 23 other people. That person has connected to 23 other people. I'm 24, having now connected with that person and the previous 23. That's a lot of spiritual stuff going on. That's a lot of energetic stuff going on. That's a lot of confusion going on. So you must make sure that if you have been a promiscuous sexual person, before you get into a real relationship, you need to just stop for a second, fast, give yourself a break, and make sure you can clear out that negative energy, clear out that negative spiritual energy, and make sure you can be ready for a one connection. And look, I'm sorry, and I don't buy this crap. People say, well, people are not made to be monogamous. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that. I believe people are made to be monogamous. I believe it's a choice you make to be monogamous, just like it's a choice you make to be polygamous. Okay? All right, let me go on because I'm jumping on my soapbox now. All right. Society teaches a different message. Who says this? Yes. Society does teach a different message. You're absolutely right. And that's what I was saying earlier. Society teaches that, hey, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. That's what society teaches. But society also teaches that there's happiness in wealth. There is not. The only thing wealth does is makes you comfortable. There's happiness in knowing that whatever state I'm in, I'm content. All right. So you cannot be thwarted by society's standards. You must create your own standards. All right. Regarding talking sex in first convo. Okay, I agree with society. Yes. I heard that men need sex at least 15 times per month for a healthy prostate. My wife, Jesus. Actually, there was a study in 2018 which says that a number of men were studied, and it says that men need sex basically about anywhere from 15 to 18 times a month. Roughly about 4 times a week to have a healthy prostate. Okay. So look, if you want a healthy prostate, you better get on your business. So that's pretty much what she's referring to. And it is important. It's definitely important. And there are many, many, many benefits to sex. There's enhanced brain function. There's improved immune function. There's, one 30-minute sexual encounter can lose you up to 200 calories. I mean, there's so many benefits to sex, so many positive benefits to sex. So I want you to understand that sex is a good thing. However, sex is not nothing to lose sleep over. Okay? It's really not. I believe that people need to understand that this thing called sex that we have, that we've constantly abused, by putting it in media and making it seem as though if you got sexual prowess and you're a great person, if you have sexual prowess and you're desired, if what did TLC, 6 inches or a yard, rock hard, or if it's sagging. Yeah, I said that. I ain't too proud to beg. I mean, those kind of images, those kinds of things really gives us a warped opinion of sex and sexuality. Especially when the average penis size is 5.5 inches. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. So all this media ideations about, what it takes to be happy and all this it's BS. It's BS. Okay? Find yourself somebody that's going to value and love the crap out of you and accept that. Because the act of sex, in fact, Masters and Johnson did this study some years ago. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, Masters and Johnson did a study, and they basically found through their research, anyone who knows Masters and Johnson knows that they are the quintessential sex experts. But Masters and Johnson said basically that any size will fit any woman or can be satisfactory for any woman. Now, whether you believe that or not, that's on you. That's what they said. Okay. I'm going to get my wife off this string. Okay. I promise you. Okay. Wives need to intentionally assist their husband's prostate health. I would agree completely and absolutely. Okay, so when it comes to sex, I think there's a couple things that you have to understand. And we talked about sexual frequency. The average adult has sex about 54 times per year, which is about once a week on average. Okay, and it's funny because adults in their 20s have sex about 80 times a year, which is about 1.5 times a week. Okay, but so the fact is that and the adults in their 60s have sex about 20 times per year. But the thing is that even though we see these averages, even though we know that people are out there and they're having sex, the important thing is to understand that sexuality and emotionality, that you must be happy first. You must make sure that your values are compatible first. And sexuality will always fall in place. I have heard so much crap talk about, sex and prowess and all this stuff and porn star sex and people. The important thing about relationships is finding somebody who will love you, finding somebody who you can love. And I mean grow in love. I'm not talking about somebody you can fall head over heels with, because I don't believe in falling in love. I believe in growing in love, because anytime you fall, you get hurt. Love is a thing that you grow in. And when you can find somebody that you both can commit to and you can grow into that thing, sex will be phenomenal between the two of you. Do men get the connection and bonding? Do men get the connection and bonding? Absolutely they do. But you have to understand that men quite often give in to the lie. Men give into the lie that it's important for me to be this certain way, because as men, our goal is to please our women. It really is. For an average normal man, his goal is to please his woman. And if the woman says, well, you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to do this, you got to do that, that man will work his butt off to try to do that. And again, there are always outliers, who don't. But men do get that connection, and they do get that bonding. And when they feel accepted by women, and that's something, I'm going to have to talk about male sensitivity at some point, because when men do feel accepted by women, and they do feel that a woman is into them and loving them and caring about them and receiving them sexually, that man will be so excited, and that man will feel that bonding. Now, can a man separate himself also? Absolutely. A man can make it just a physical thing. But when a man decides to be in a relationship, he decides that I'm going to be in this relationship. I'm going to give and allow myself to receive from this woman. That's when the connection and the bonding happens. Okay? Or he can just be out there, be a hoe, just do the physical act. Just do the physical act. I heard this statistic, and I hope I get it right, that for a woman, she has one egg per month. But for a man, he has anywhere from 20 million or 50 million sperm, that just constantly being generated, So basically, with 100 men can populate the earth, So it just stands that, look, men can just do that, But women tend to be a lot more specific and a lot more intentional, rather, when it comes to sex. Men, we can, but men do get bonding when they have women in their lives who believe in them, who care for them, and who love them. Let's continue here. I hope y'all getting this, because you're taking me all over the place here. What about people with low libidos? Maybe they feel bad to talk about stuff like that. Yeah, and libido is a different thing, okay? When it comes to libido, I'm a big proponent of, look, if you got a problem, find a way to fix it. So if there's a low libido, there are so many things on the market where you can actually get that done. One reason that men may have low libido is because the older they get, their testosterone decreases. There are supplements out there. There are testosterone supplements that men can take that will consistently increase their libido. And a lot of them are very healthy allopathic remedies that can help them to increase their libido. And it's more than just about sex. It's about them also feeling better about themselves. It's about them having body and muscle tone. So it's really important for men, as you get older, to just take care of your health. Okay. And if you find that your libido is decreasing, do something to increase it. Study something. I can give you recommendations, but you got to find your own. All right. I'm so late. That's okay, Crystal. We almost done though. Sorry. Do men willingly talk about deficiencies they might be experiencing, like hard for them to get erected, etc.? Yes, men do talk about that with other men. Yeah, men do talk about that with other men. Do men feel comfortable talking about that with women? Nah. Very generally, no. But men do talk about it. Okay? I know because I've talked to men about it. I've talked to men who've come to me and said, man, look, dude, man, I was trying to, yeah. I've had men who confided in me. Absolutely. But have they told their wives? When I talk to them, they say, no, I can't say that to her because she won't understand it. She'll get frustrated or whatever. And this is where the sensitivity comes in. Yeah. And I'm not saying that that's the way it is across the board. I'm not saying that's the way it is across the board. But I am saying that on both sides, because there are a number of topics that women do not feel comfortable talking to men about as well. However, I do think that if you want your sex to be fulfilling and exciting and to bring joy in your life, you have to open up your lines of communication where you can talk about these serious matters, okay? All right, here's some suggested topics. Sustainable marriage through health challenges, menopause, prostate matters. Oh, this is good stuff. Yes, absolutely. These are some of the things we can talk about. And once again, as we bring this to a close, if you have other topics that you want to share, that you want us to talk about, look, tell your friends. I'm telling you, tell your friends. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to start something here. If you start bringing people, we're going to have a contest a little later on, that if you get 5 people in here and you can bring them or they can show us that they came as a result of you, we'll do something special for you, okay? We'll give you, once we start subscribing, we may give you a month free or something like that. So I want you to start telling your friends about it while this is free, okay? Because right now we're doing promo. We didn't put an end to it yet, but we're doing promo, but just rest assured there will be an end to it, to the lives. But get on, okay, and let's talk about it, and let's let people know about this great thing that's happening on the Marriage Ain't for Punks app, okay? Do you find that, okay, last question, absolute last question because we're already over time. Do you find that men get turned off when women are too forward sexually? Oh my gosh. Do men get, yes, I think it's possible. Here's what happens, and I'm going to say this, Nick D, and you know, get it. Do men get turned off when women are too forward sexually? What can happen very easily? Because men in general, I can never say anything just carte blanche, but in general, men are alpha. We are the aggressors. We are the ones who like to take charge. And even for men who are not aggressors, they want to be aggressors. Even for men who don't take charge, they know it's in their DNA to do so. So they feel it, even if they can't muster it. So when it comes to a man who feels like his woman is being the aggressor, it's kind of taking his spot. You know, it's kind of taking his place. It kind of pushes him into a place where he feels as though, wow, and I'm going to give you a caveat in a second. Where he feels as though this woman is sort of doing what he should do. And that can be, not always is, it can be a turnoff. If you want your man to be turned on, it's not by aggression, it's by submission. If you want your man to be turned on, it's not through aggression, it's through submission. And when I say submission, I'm not talking about weakness. I'm not talking about cowardice. I'm not talking about being a doormat. I'm talking about being pliable, being receptive, being vulnerable, and letting him feel as though he's the man, even though he's having trouble. The funny thing about men is that most of the time we know you're letting us be strong, and we don't care. It's okay. We just want to do it. All right? We know you're just as smart as we are. We know you're just as intelligent. We know that you can do things with or without us. We get it. And if you let us be the leaders, we know you're letting us be the leaders. And we're okay with that too. Are y'all with me? Okay, great. That was our last question. But thank you for that, Nick. Says she's a micro influencer. Okay, here's another one. Crystal, should women really approach men? Oh my God, girl, we're going to be talking about this. We're going to meet again on Tuesday. I have never, but I am seeing I don't attract what I really want. Oh my God. I can't wait till we start our matchmaking, because you guys are going to be so blessed once we start this and start putting you with people who are matched for you. Okay. Is there a thing of submissively aggressive? Wow. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to write these down, and we're going to, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to write these down, and we're going to talk about these in the coming weeks. I love it, though. I love it. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. And I cannot wait to meet again on Tuesday. Okay. God bless you guys. Tell your friends about it. Let's get this crowd up, and because we believe that we have a lot of information here that people really can use. Okay. God bless you. We'll see you next week on the MAFP app. Take care.